At the southern end of Texas, on the Mexican side of the Rio Grande, sits the town of Reynosa. This has long been a destination for migrants seeking to enter the United States. Migrant encampments like this one are a common sight. Susana Rodriguez from Honduras has been here for too long.
6 meses. Hay más gente que tiene 7 y nadie los ayuda. El mes, el próximo mes, ahorita están sacando casos vulnerables y uno lleva y nada. Es dura aquí la vida, pero todo por un propósito, por darle una mejor vida a nuestros hijos.
For migrants who don't want to wait in this limbo, crossing illegally into Texas is easily done. Whether guided by human traffickers or entering alone, dozens of migrants cross this stretch of river on a nightly basis.
Pues sí, hay bastante, pero aquí estamos esperando. Les va bien mal, les pasan muchas cosas malas, sufren hambre y todo eso. Por eso nosotros pedimos a las madres que nos den una oportunidad porque no podemos cruzar así con nuestros hijos.
The migrants know that crossing the Rio Grande is not the end of their journey. The final push, undertaken on US soil, is the most dangerous stage of all. Once on the US side of the river, the final stretch is making it to San Antonio, the first major city and a hub from which undocumented migrants can move more easily. However, Border Patrol units scour the southern border region, and 100 kilometers north along the freeway is their final filter, the Falfurrias migration checkpoint. Manned by dozens of agents, it operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All traffic here is stopped, all passengers are inspected, and equipped with state-of-the-art technology, contraband, be it human or otherwise, is easily found. The filter forces migrants to circumvent it, travelling on foot through the difficult desert terrain of Brooks County. Don White runs the remote wildlands search and recovery team of the local sheriff's department.
If they truly understood what the terrain was like in Brooks County, they wouldn't make the trip. Everything is soft sand underneath the grass, underneath the leaves. It's always a pain. It always hurts. You always get cactus, mesquite thorns, yupon. We got what's known as cat's claw, which the thorns point backwards, so when you slide along the branch, all it does is it just rips. You know.
This Honduran migrant who preferred to remain anonymous was arrested by Border Patrol agents as he and his group travelled through Brooks County. Deported back to Reynosa, his experience is not one he wants to repeat.
Bueno, resumiendo cuenta, caminamos ese 7 días, 6 noches. En la mañana, pues, el sereno que cae en el pasto, la yarda, la lambíamos para remojar la lengua. Me cayeron todas las uñas de la caminada, en la planta del pie, todas llenas de llagas. Es bien tremendo. Yo tengo 50 años. Y yo pensé que yo me iba a quedar botado, porque me dijo el guía, tenés que sacar fuerza, me dijo, porque si te quedas, me dijo, aquí te van a comer los coyotes, me dijo.
The wildlife here is just as hostile as the terrain. Dave Resendez owns the Dos Pistolas Ranch, 40 kilometers west of the Falfurrias checkpoint.
Oh, you're dealing with, rattlesnakes, you're dealing with wild hogs, you're dealing with javelina, mountain lions in some areas, you're dealing with bobcats. I mean, every creature out here that, is on the prey is watching you,
Local authorities here say a carcass is reduced to nothing but skeletal remains in less than a week. Despite the numerous dangers, moving through Brooks County does not deter the migrants.
I've owned this ranch about a year, and since we've had it in the last year, we've probably experienced over 50 coming through our property. I had an experience with a young man coming to my bedroom window at 7 o'clock in the morning and looking through my bedroom window, and the young man almost lost his life that day. And you know, it's never really been under control, but it was nowhere near like it is right now.
There was one point last year at night, and they did an infrared scan of the entire county. They had in excess of 300 at that point moving through the county.
It's a constant deal. I bought this ranch to enjoy, but now because it's been so heavy, you know, my family does not like me to be out here by myself because, you know, it's just not safe.
I know people that don't go in their backyards anymore. You've got a criminal element that's always in there, and you always have to be careful of that. And that's one of the things that scares people off. Is this a bad guy or a good guy? You don't know. We've had ranchers that have been accosted. We've had high school kids out on the ranch run down and beaten. And the parents don't want to file charges. They've caught the guys who did it. They don't want to file charges because they're afraid of cartel influence.
Those who don't make it are abandoned by their groups, left to die in one of North America's most extreme environments.
Se quedó botado un señor. Yo lo venía ayudando en el camino porque él traía platina. Y a veces nos quedábamos botados como 100 metros. Y me dijo el guía, mira, decidí, ¿te quedas con él o te vas? Porque ya no puedo venirlo esperándome. Estoy perdiendo mucho tiempo. Y el Señor me dijo, váyase. Y ahí quedó el Señor. Saber qué sería de él.
In 2021, the bodies of 119 migrants were found in the deserts of Brooks County. But help is at hand. Eddie Canales, the founder of the South Texas Human Rights Center, has worked to give humanitarian aid to migrants moving through Brooks County since 2013. Funded entirely by charitable donations, he and his team of volunteers also help the families of those who have gone missing. His day starts early, taking calls from desperate people trying to locate their relatives lost in the desert.
Que es un agente que tiene a una persona que es familia mía, en efecto me dieron el nombre.
Ok, mire, mándeme, usted me manda el nombre completo de la persona con que usted busca y me manda ese número que le llamaron. A mí se me hace que es algo como fraude. The calls are from all over. I mean, lately it's been Hondureños, people from Venezuela. Yesterday I probably got 5, 6, 7. Today's already probably 4 or 5 different ones already. So, I mean, it could wind up being 10 calls before the end of the day.
Eddie also has 175 water stations dotted throughout the county, blue bins labelled agua, where migrants can find fresh drinking water. Eddie refills the blue bins, nearly all of which have been used since he last checked a week ago.
Our effort is to try to save lives. People get stranded, get abandoned, get hurt, they get left behind, they get scattered by Border Patrol, they get lost, and we make every effort to try to place water for them to be able to survive.
Despite his tireless work, for Eddie, the frustration of seeing the deaths increase year on year is agonizing.
You know, we lost 119 people were recovered in Brooks County this past year. You know, hopefully this year the number will slow down, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. We need to fix the system. People are dying needlessly, you know, and They're dying because our policy is prevention by deterrence. It's not working. We need to regularize these people so that the labor that is needed in this country can come in and go back, and they're not dependent on the dangerous terrain where we are facing the humanitarian crisis today.
And those benefiting most from the policy are the Mexican human traffickers, or polleros, linked to organised crime, who charge on average $7,000 per migrant to cross them through this terrain.
People are, recognize that they need a guide, a pollero, and the whole system is, oh yeah, it's easy to get through. You can make it. And can you imagine doing this all day, being out here in this environment all day right now? The only people that are making money are the cartel. There's going to be a lot of deaths tonight. There will be.
Returning from his water run, Eddie is met on his doorstep by Silvia and Ignacio, who have flown to Texas from Seattle. They are searching for a migrant who went missing here 3 weeks ago. 24-year-old Maria Mejia from El Salvador was last heard of by her family on December 20th, 2021, from a GPS location southeast of Falfurrias.
Y las situaciones que venimos aquí a Falfurrias es lo único que tenemos, las ubicaciones y el mensaje de voz. Ya estaba en mucho dolor y ya no podía caminar. Y lo que hizo la persona que lo traía, el coyote, la abandonó en medio del monte, que ya para esto ya había pasado prácticamente casi 3 semanas.
Uno es padre, tiene hijos, y cuando un hijo se pone enfermo, uno está muy preocupado. Es algo que nos parte el alma. Si hoy día hay tanto inmigrante o personas que hemos inmigrado de nuestros países a los Estados Unidos, es precisamente buscando una mejor vida.
Coming to Eddie means admitting the possibility that the young woman is now dead, but with no other leads, it seems the only explanation.
Venimos aquí a Falfurrias para buscarla si hay en los hospitales, en la cárcel, en algún lugar. No queremos regresar a Seattle sin poder llevar una respuesta para la familia. Queremos algo, aunque sea sus zapatos, su ropa, su cuerpo. Ya para este punto queremos algo para poder tener descanso también, porque es muy fea la espera y la angustia de no saber qué pasó con ella.
No dejan entrar.
Eddie checks his phone, cross-referencing photos of Maria with the most recently gathered images of the bodies found in Brooks County. There are no matches. Maria Mejia's body is still out there. Since as far back as the Clinton administration of the late 1990s, US migration policy has been to deter undocumented migrants from entering the US by strengthening and militarizing the southern border. Yet 20 years later, more undocumented migrants are crossing than ever before, and the ongoing policy of deterrence that funnels them into more and more extreme routes is costing lives.
That policy is totally wrong. Totally wrong to try to incarcerate people, criminalize people for coming through uninspected and getting to a job in the cities to do the work that nobody else wants to do. But it's not enough. We need to look at the whole picture and change the system that exists.
For the local community, they see no end to it.
We were in some of the situations that our people, I would have been trucking across this land. I don't blame them when there's no good process for them to follow to try to get here legally. If you can send an envelope and find somebody in 48 hours, you could find out if somebody is a good person or not within 6 months, and then allow them into our country.
And as long as this migration policy exists, no matter how lethal the journey becomes, desperate migrants will continue to venture into the wilds of Brooks County.
Es difícil tomar la decisión de inmigrar, pero también cuando las personas inmigran, saben los riesgos que uno está corriendo y no les importa que mueran en el camino, con tal de lograr una mejor vida.